The Roundtable Talk, we have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpungwe, your host. Good evening, our roundtable viewers from across the globe, and welcome to the roundtable discussion for this evening. Our guest is the Economic Association of Zambia President, Dr. Lubinda Haabazoka. Dr. Haabazoka, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. And how have you been?
Well, I've been fine. I've been doing a lot of research work. You know, this is COVID. So this is when academicians sit down and, try to do some research works. Quite a number of notable works that are coming out soon. I've had, I think, 2 articles since January released. That is works that I did last year. So I think we are pushing. I need to put in more papers. You know, we need to aim towards professorship.
Absolutely. Now, in a bit, I would like to, find out more about the Economic Association of Zambia. But before then, I always insist on knowing more, about my guest for the sake of the viewers out there, because I like to look at the roundtable discussion as an opportunity for young people to just, see what the guest has achieved and just maybe, pick that person as a role model. So who is Dr. Lubinda Haabazoka?
So Lubinda Haabazoka was born in Kitwe, raised in Wansha, and completed school in Kafiwe at Kafiwe Boys Secondary School. From there, I competed with 3,500 other grade 12 school leavers for 18 places to go and study in Russia, and I was among the 18 that was picked, and I went to study economics, and from there I did my first degree, master's, and PhD, and graduated with a PhD in 2009. PhD with a biasness in financial economics, banking, finance, credit. From there, I came to work in Zambia. Started with the Copperbelt University, then moved to Lusaka in 2017. And joined the University of Zambia as Director of the Graduate School of Business. I'm currently Director of the Graduate School of Business at the University of Zambia, and also doubles as President of the Economic Association of Zambia. I also sit on quite a number of boards. I think I sit on 6 or 7 other boards for companies and authorities such as the National Road Fund Agency, researchers like ZIPA, NGOs like the Program Against Malnutrition, and other companies. I'm also, an entrepreneur in the financial sector. I have a microfinance institution. I do quite a number of stuff. I'm into farming, real estate. So for me, it's always a passion to make money, to contribute to coffers of the Zambian government through tax paying. Basically, I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot, and I want to take, to be involved in the history of our country. I feel that we've forgotten patriotism. My role model is, the late President Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. I'm very pleased that I'm one of the few Zambians that I think has told him, while he's still alive, that we shall continue upholding his legacy. That man was a genius. His economic, development agenda, in Africa was almost second to none. I'm very happy that currently, the current government is also, not following their economic policies are very similar to to what Keke was doing, and that is putting Zambians, first, and creating enterprise for Zambians, Zambian ownership of business, government involvement in the economy to a level whereby they remove externalities and inefficiencies. I think that is also my philosophy.
Indeed, you just reminded me of something extremely important, and that is to say that may the soul of our dearly departed first President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Dr. Kenneth David Kaunda, rest in eternal peace. Now, Dr. Haabazoka, having listened to what you've just said, there is no doubt in my mind that you're a very competent person to tackle the discussion that we have today, and because we are talking all things economics. But before that, would you just tell us what the Economic Association of Zambia is all about?
Well, a lot of people mistake the Economic Association of Zambia with the Ministry of Finance. The Economic Association of Zambia is non-government, it's not part of government. Economic Association of Zambia is a policy advocacy institution, meaning we advocate for policies, we are not implementers. So those people that see EAZ in the news every day, or EAZ does this function, they call us, an association of conferences and what, because that's our job. Our job is to advocate, and the forum for advocate is television, radio, social media, conferences, summits, and so on and so forth. And it's very unfortunate that our largest event will have to be postponed. The economic summit that was supposed to take place in the next 2 to 3 days. The COVID situation is, is very bad. Is very bad in our country. But in general, EAZ is for economic policy advocacy, and the EAZ was formed in 1985 as the Lusaka Economics Club, and it converted into Economic Association of Zambia. Notable presidents for EAZ has been Dr. Bwarangandu, has been once president, the former Minister of Finance, Dr. Caleb Fundanga, Dr. Dani Kaliala was Secretary General. Former President Rupia Banda was Secretary General of Economic Association of Zambia. Notable leaders, Akashamba Tombik Stalewanika. And the Economic Association of Zambia is one of the 2 institutions plus Law Association of Zambia on whose basis the movement for multi-party democracy was formed. MMD was formed by the Economic Association of Zambia. Wow. And when MMD was formed, it was the Secretariat of EAZ was the Secretariat of MMD. Oh. So MMD created multi-party democracy and the market economy in the Republic of Zambia. That's why, economics and politics, they cannot be separated because politics influence economics and economics influence politics. So, a lot of people maybe accuse us of maybe going a bit into politics. That's what we do. Ours is to influence economic policy. So if there are elections, we are going to influence political party manifestos. We are going to influence policies of political parties, be ruling, opposition. That's our job. Our job is to create policies. So a lot of people there do not really understand our role. Our role is not to be a referee to stand and let people know. Ours is to ensure that when our members have ideas, those ideas do not die with the death of a person, or they are not, hidden in research work. Those ideas should realize themselves. That's why we don't, as EAZ, we don't sit down and let government do what it's doing. We've been accused, for example, of being darlings of government. Yes, government, the one that is playing. When there's a coach, the coach does not coach the people that are on the bench. The coach will be shouting at the striker that is on the pitch. And at the moment, there's a government that is playing football. So those ones, we have to be with them day in, day out. We even force our way. When the ministers see us, they even say, look at these guys. They are even here, because that is our role. Our role is to ensure that what our members are thinking, the ideas that our members have should not just, die on paper. They should be implemented. That's why we sit down with government, with political parties, with churches, with banks. We do consultancy to banks. We do consultancy to multilateral agencies, because that's our job. We are everywhere and we are runners. And the Akashamba Tombik Stalewanikas, their age was radical. They formed MMD. And the meetings used to take place at the EAZ Secretariat. And that's where we are today.
Indeed, great stuff, Dr. Haabazoka. Now, you know, I would say that you sit at a vantage view, you know, because obviously, as Economic Association of Zambia, you would probably be in a better position to know, you know, I imagine, you know, information on the economy should be at your fingertips. What would you say are the main causes of the increase of the cost of living in the nation?
You know, this is a very topical subject, and I think as citizens we should first, you know, acknowledge that, you know, there has been an increase in prices of essentials, and that increase has been escalated by the coming in of the COVID pandemic. When you look at face masks, when did we start wearing them? We started wearing the face masks last year. When did the prices start increasing? They started increasing last year. When COVID hit, you remember, the mines shut down. There was a scandal when the Chinese mines were telling Zambian employees, maybe you lodge at the mine, you work for 1 month, another group comes in. There was an uproar to say, hey, look at these Chinese. They are imprisoning our citizens. But all they wanted is to continue operating the mines, because the mines contribute 80% of the foreign exchange inflows that come into the country. And since the mines shut down, you know, the tourism industry shut down, hospitality industry shut down. You know, there was nobody who was doing trade. The owners, remember we privatized 245 companies in the 1990s. The owners of these companies are foreigners. So 80% of the economy is owned by foreigners. They all left. They left with dollars. So what happened that there was scarcity of dollars, but we needed to still buy fuel. We needed to still buy clothes. We needed to still import food. We needed to import fertilizer. We needed to import a lot of things so that our day-to-day activities, you know, continue. We needed to import face masks, medications, azithromycin, whatever people are drinking. Those things are imported. So when there's no forex, the kwacha loses value. So the kwacha reduced value. And mind you, 80% of the Zambian economy is owned by foreigners. South Africa is different. The South Africans control their economy. The Zimbabweans have done indigenization. They own their economy. So, of course, Zambia's economy was badly hit, and the currency. And because of that, we started seeing prices escalating. But, you know, the prices or the goods that formed our food basket are heavily controlled by government. So government, using its instruments, administrative and economic instruments, have managed to ensure that minimum prices do not escalate, fuel prices do not escalate. And what are we seeing? What is the end result? Yes, prices have increased on average to not more than 80%. But South Africa, 300% price increase in essentials. They don't have a staple food like we do. They eat various food. Yes, they eat in Shima, they call it pap, but that's not their staple food. So, of course, what is on their table is going to escalate. And if, you know, you see that, for example, in Zambia, it's 80%, increase in South Africa is 300%, we need to give ourselves a pat on the back. The depreciation of the Zambian kwacha has also helped. You know, it's a bad thing because things are expensive. In dollar terms, salaries have dwindled, but it has helped because our products are now cheap. I was given an example. I was in Mansa two weeks ago, and I went into ShopRite, and I saw ketchup. You know, I think that was 380 meals, you know, imported. It was 45 kwacha. Zambian 400 meals, it was 15 kwacha. You know, and I told the colleagues that way, I said, have you seen this phenomenon? Zambian ketchup is more, and I've eaten both ketchups. You know, it's not about quality. The quality of that Zambian ketchup is top notch. I've even found that same ketchup in South Africa, on shelves in South Africa. See, it's import quality, but it means that our goods are becoming cheap because our currency has done what? Has depreciated. What normally happens? China has taken advantage of making their currency cheaper than the rest of the currencies in the world. That's why you and me, we go and buy things in China. We don't rush to the USA or to England because the pound is very strong. That's why people don't import things in pounds. The Range Rovers are expensive, but the Toyotas are cheap because the yen also, if you look at the yen is, I think $1 is equal to 112 yen, somewhere there, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see that the cheap we are not talking about politics. This is pure economics. So because of the depreciation of the Zambian kwacha, Zambia now has the cheapest fuel. I was in Chipata, I've been to Livingstone, I've been to border towns in the recent past doing also this, you know, looking at the economic dynamics.
But perhaps, Dr. Haabazoka, you know, as Economic Association of Zambia, you need to weigh in on why, despite the fact that the prices of commodities are cheaper in this country in comparison to other countries, there's still the very real issue of the ordinary Zambian complaining about the prices. What, in this regard, should the Zambian person do?
You know, it's very true that even my income versus what I'm able to buy, you know, I'm under pressure. But you need to understand that we've had COVID. You know, this is not induced by any other factors. People are wearing face masks. Now, because nobody wants to wear face masks, but we're wearing that because of COVID. So me, I would just say that to our colleagues, it could have been worse. You know, the prices would have been, we would have been talking about hyper inflation now. It could have been worse, but we are on the right spot. We have managed to contain the increase in prices. So for the Zambian, let's look at where you are seeing a negative. Can we cultivate a positive? Me, I'm seeing our ability to export eggs to our neighboring countries. Our ability to export, maize to other countries. We can export a lot of things. Tomatoes, we can export onions. We can export a lot of things because in Zambia things have become cheap. Now, when you start doing, we need to increase productivity. We don't sit down and say, no, the elections are coming. The election will come and go. You'll just be sitting like that, waiting for an election the whole lifetime. We need now to be productive. Those that are working, you engage in businesses. You go and buy cheap. I'm just giving an example of ketchup. Phone a shop in Malawi. Tell them, I'll bring you ketchup. Go to ShopRite or any other chain stores. Go and buy it and take it to Malawi and go and sell it. That's how business. Of course, you remember Zambian traders? I remember my mother going to Botswana or South Africa, buying cheaper things and coming to sell them in Zambia, expensive. Those cross-border traders have stopped now. The ShopRites bring those things for us now. But when you look at Zambian competitive products, let's buy them. And now let's do reverse cross-border trading. Let's buy in Zambia and send outside the country. If we don't do that, Zimbabweans will start coming here. Other people will start coming here. Whom are you going to benefit? The person that has created the platform in form of a formal chain store. Those are the guys that are going to benefit. They'll buy from you cheaply. They'll go and put them in their stores expensive or their wholesale expensive and sell themselves. It's up to us Zambians to take advantage of this situation and go and export.
To those that are just joining us, you are watching the roundtable discussion featuring EAZ President Dr. Lubinda Haabazoka. Now, Dr. Haabazoka, what is debt swap? There is the issue of debt swap that has just come up, and that is government is proposing. What is debt swap and what are its advantages?
A debt swap is basically you exchanging debt. A swap is an instrument that you use to, exchange cash flows. So in this case, I think the idea that government, we first heard about government pronouncing or making pronouncement over debt swapping last year when COVID began. And we were one of the associations that actually asked government to escalate it because when you look at COVID, it comes with economic situations. There's a bar owner at the moment who has been told, look, your type of business is a super spreader. So can you close down? In the beginning, we said, can you close down? But now government is saying, Mwana, just do it, take away, because you need to sell the alcohol. Your waiters and waitresses, they need to sell. Those people also feed, they are also human beings, and they need to feed people. They depend that on income on that. And there's a business person. So those measures, when the COVID measures came in, a lot of people lost business income. What did government come in? Government came up with a bond to say a lot of businesses, because they're not doing business, they are going to default. Now when they default, the financial system might crash. So they issued a medium-term financing framework of 10 billion kwacha, where now businesses were supposed to go and refinance their loans, meaning I have a loan at high interest rates. Government gives cheap money to the commercial banks. I go back to the commercial bank and said, can you re-loan me? I pay back. You give me a loan to pay back the loan that I have because the lending rates are high. And you give me a low one with better conditions. That is how businesses were helped. So now, citizens, how are you going to help them? The vulnerable people, one, they were given social cash transfer, those that don't work. And we have over 120,000 citizens today getting social cash transfer. I know some other people say that that is expensive. That is their own political opinion or their own economic opinion. For me, social cash transfer is the way to go. The Zambian government, through DMMU, is feeding 1.7 million Zambians. 1.7 million. When they wake up every day, they look up to DMMU Vice President's office for food. Those are vulnerable citizens. Do we need to help them? Yes, we need to help them because they are citizens of the Republic of Zambia. Now, what about the people that are working? They also have loans, but the cost of living has done what? Has gone up high. So you need to also give them a relief. So what better relief are you going to do? Are you going to give money to Zambian citizens? When you give money to citizens, all you are going to do is maybe increase money supply in the economy, which can lead to inflation. That is one. Two, you are going to bring about laziness because you are giving money for free. In the USA, they are giving money for free. That's their own model. So for the Zambian government, they think, well, let's help those that are highly indebted to give them a breather. So what is this debt swap? If you owe money to a financial institution, say 10,000 kwacha or 20,000 kwacha, and government owes you maybe leave days, money for leave days, or they owe you settling allowance, or government is contributing towards your pension, you are going to get your pension. Government says, we are going to pay off that loan that you have. When they pay off that loan that you have, you will start receiving your normal salaries. No bank or financial institution will be cutting out from your salary. Then government also cannot just give you money for free. So they will get your leave days, or they will get part of the 10,000 kwacha, they will get it from your pension. Is that a good idea? Definitely it is. Other people will say, just increase their prices, their salaries. How can you increase salaries in COVID when government is struggling to get revenue? Why is government struggling to get revenue? It's because industries are not working. Go to Livingstone, the lodges are dead, they are not paying taxes. Look at the manufacturing industry, there's reduced demand for goods, so taxes are not being collected. So the best way to do is to give a citizen more disposable income. You owe money, we are going to do a debt swap. And that decision, we asked government, this decision that you are making, is it just out of nowhere? Is it political? Say, look at our pay slips. Over 90% of our employees have borrowed, and it's true. Even me, I get loans. Why? Because I'm building, I'm investing in businesses. I've told you I own a microfinance institution. I go to borrow from my own microfinance institution to fund my other activities, despite the fact that I have money that I lend out to people. It's normal. This is normal business. There's nothing sinister. So for people that are saying to give a relief during COVID to employees, that is bad idea. Those people are evil. That one I can tell you. Those people have nothing in common with a Zambian citizen because we need to be very clear. How? Companies have been helped, 10 billion. Most of them that are saying this and against, they have benefited from the refinancing. The vulnerable people, they are receiving social cash transfer, they are receiving food packs. What of the employee? If we now help the people that are in the public service, we can now move to the people that are in the private sector. We can now petition government to say, look, you have 1 million people working, of which half, for example, they are working for government. You have helped them. I think the amount should be around 580 million somewhere there, if not I'm mistaken. Can you now look at our colleagues that are in the private sector? It's an ongoing process, negotiations. The other advantage is that now the financial institution will get back their money immediately. When they get back their money immediately, they're able to reloan it and to the productive sector of the economy. That is going to stimulate business growth. Colleagues, these are economic solutions to problems we are facing in the Republic.
So to get you very clearly on debt swap for instance the civil servants, is it mandatory or does the person get an option to have the debt swap or not?
Zambia is a democratic country. If a person feels they don't want a debt swap, I'm sure it will be against democratic norms for government to force it on them. So if you don't want a debt swap, you don't get it. Those that want a debt swap, they can get it. For me, if you owe me my gratuity and I owe the banks 100,000 kwacha, I'll tell you, get 100,000 kwacha, and I'm going to do what? I'm going to, because I'm getting a breather. One, my risk for default has been eliminated because government has paid on my behalf. As a financial institution, I'm getting more liquidity. I can loan out the money again. Even the same civil servants, if their house is at a roof or they're just remaining with tiles, the government pays their loan on their behalf. They can quickly go back and borrow money. That money they have already used. And they have used leave days or other mechanism to offset the debt. Now their pay slip is free. They can go and invest and go and buy the same ketchup and go and export it to other countries. Do businesses. That is thinking outside the box. Now I don't know what our colleagues or other naysayers are saying.
Now, you've touched a little bit about the issue of COVID-19 and how it has affected big economies even, across the globe. And the small economy like Zambia has not been spared. What would you say have been the major, problems and challenges that have been caused to this nation by this pandemic?
COVID worldwide has had a massive negative effect on the economic development agenda. The IMF board met in June and decided to give in member countries 650 billion US dollars in special drawing rights. I once commented to say our reserves are going to double by August. I was called a lunatic, a kada, Russian trained, all sorts of names. Me, I just look at those things because, when you speak from an informed position, those that don't know anything, they are championing to know things, you just laugh at them. Some of it is just politics. When you look at COVID, it hit on the liquidity of Zambian citizens, hammered on the liquidity. It hit on global liquidity. There is no money. Why? Because governments are not paying, collecting enough revenue. Why? Because businesses are not operating. You are all indoors. You are quarantined. You remember South Africa, there was level 5 quarantine. Everybody home, no moving, only essentials. To go, they'll open just a bit for you to go and buy food. Now, if you are not drinking at a restaurant, meaning you are not eating things like michopo, you are not eating what, so the woman that grows lettuce to sell to the restaurant is not selling it. That lettuce gets rotten. It's a perishable. Have you thought about that person? That person who rears chicken, the chicken is ready, but nobody's buying the chicken because the bars and the restaurant that buy from that woman or man, they're no longer buying. Things are closed. The people, Maersk or other companies that move goods from one place to another, they are not shipping because nobody is shipping. Nobody is working. They're all working from online. From a computer, you can't send a container. Somebody has to move. So there has been a backlog of goods moving between China and the rest of the world, for example. If a car to ship it from Japan, that time you pay $1,000, sometimes even $900. Now, less than 1,300, 1,400, you won't find. So that has increased the cost of transporting goods around the globe. So the Zambian kwacha also has been hit. Liquidity, foreign exchange rate, job, income for citizens, scarcity of certain goods, increased government expenditure. We need to buy, masks. You need to buy more medicines. You need to buy oxygen. You need to do a lot. And we have done a very good job, and we need to pat ourselves on the back for our health system. It has proved that it's competitive, and we have, enough infrastructure to handle these things. So, in terms of negative effect, we have been also badly hit. That's why what we are going through, citizens might know, things like the cost of living, exchange rate, poor kwacha. These things are, are short term. Why are they short term? Because once the world opens up, Once trade begin, all these things, there will be now increased supply of forex, goods will start flowing, things will become cheap, there will be increased, competition, we'll be able to go around to do, tourism and sort of, so the economy will normalize, and prices are going to do what? They are going to fall down. If they don't fall down, government will be collecting increased revenues, because the prices have gone up high, so you're making more profit, so even government taxes will be high, meaning government is going to be able to manage to do what? To pay you increased salaries. If a public employee, the private sector also is going to follow suit and increase salaries. So people should not worry. Let's not politic what is happening in Zambia. This is COVID. Look at what is happening in South Africa. Part of, yes, people might have been enticed to go and loot because they are hungry. I've told you 300% of increase in the food prices. That is a country you are saying we can't compare with. Zambians, let's give each other a pat on the back. Look at, when you look at how we have progressed, we have added 490 health posts to our system. We have built over 8 district hospitals, top-notch, top quality, district hospitals. Those have been able to reduce the negative impact of COVID. We have built over, 30 mini hospitals. When you look at a mini hospital, it's proper. Bed spaces have levied, that was the main facility for COVID. Have increased from, I think, 100 to about 1,000 beds. Maina Soko, a new facility, state of the art. Are we a dying country? We are not. Definitely doing well. As a country, look, South Africa now is going through level 2, level 3 load shedding. They have load shedding of 8 hours. Zambia, 0 load shedding, with the same climate, same demand for energy. And in South Africa, the industries are not working as they are supposed to work. Why? Because there's COVID, reduced demand. So energy demand should reduce, but there's still load shedding, meaning they have better problems. Look at Zambia, we have surplus energy. We have moved our energy supply from 1,600 megawatts in, for example, 2011 to 2,800 today. And we haven't even added to the grid 750 megawatts Kafue Loa, 600 megawatts the solar that is being done in Lusaka. We are not a dying nation. Let's politic, or let's have discourse, but let's not dent the image of our country. Why am I saying this? I'm not politicking. I want the investor that is listening to know that this is a progressing government, progressing citizen, and progressive business. There's an ideal environment for people to do what? To do business. Look at Lusaka. Lusaka is converting into a smart city. Wider roads, reduced traffic jams, infrastructure coming up, shopping malls. People say shopping malls are bad ideas. Let me tell you, if I'm selling maize at my gate, how many people are going to know that there's maize selling at the gate? That comes from another area. But if I take it into one more, it's a central place. People will know that there's maize there and they'll come and buy. That is market infrastructure. We need to build it. So in general, despite the negatives that we are facing due to COVID, I'm very positive that as a country, we are going to come out positive.
Now, again, from a vantage point that you are from, because you have to do a lot of research, being the Economic Association of Zambia. And I imagine you look at the manifestos of different political parties. The Patriotic Front, in their manifesto, are proposing a 24-hour economy, as an alternative to job creation, for instance. Is a nation such as ours ready for such type of thing?
Zambia was ready for a 24-hour economy in 1990. Okay. But we have had a very conservative population, and I think that has injured our development agenda. When you look at Zambia's economic development agenda, in the 1990s, colleagues sat down and decided to sell 245 companies, of which over 200 companies closed down. They simply stripped them out and sold them. We had Dunlop making tires. It went to Zimbabwe. We had ITT making TVs in Livingstone. Fiat was being made in Livingstone. We were assembling Peugeot 504s here. Peugeots were being assembled. We were doing Land Rovers in this country, bicycles in in Chipata, which we shift into Malawi. We're doing batteries, pineapples, all sorts of things. Those Kaunda left IDC, Zimco, one of the largest companies in sub-Saharan Africa, all closed down. Because 245 companies were privatized. One, we gave the economy to foreigners and a few selected Zambians. That did not think about the people of the Republic of Zambia. That is 2. 3, we created massive problems in terms of job creation. The factories were shut down. Over 200 factories, companies shut down. But no one shut down the schools. Schools continued producing grade 12 school leavers. Universities were producing graduates. Colleges were producing, but you had shut down industry. And I call this the period of stagnation from the 1990s to maybe 2008, 2006. That is a period of stagnation. No new industry added, only being renamed ZCBC to some chain store. But today, you can see IDC is back. We can see Mopani is now back to its rightful owners. The other mine I don't want to mention is still in court. The pineapple project is starting in Northwestern Province. The tea, Kawamba tea, is back in Luapula Province. You could even see that the big man, KK, died with pride because he knew that his own people have realized that his way of doing economics was the way to go. IDC was also born in the last 7 years ago. 24-hour economy, what does it imply? It means our economy by law is 8 hours. You start at 8 hours, 17 hours, you close off, nothing is working. If a person works beyond that, it's overtime. Why should a person work overtime? And that overtime, they won't do 16 hours. They'll take you to labor office because you are subscribing them to slave conditions. So now we are saying, in a 24-hour economy, people work 3 shifts. A person comes at 8 hours, they knock off at 17 hours. Somebody comes on their desk, they start working. 17 hours to say 24 hours. 24 hours, somebody knocks off. Somebody comes in 8 hours, they knock off. Machines are on 24/7. What does that mean? You're going to create the number of jobs that you have times 3. If you employ 3 people, you're going to have 9 people working in the economy. That is going to significantly reduce unemployment levels. How? Me, when I knock off today, I go to the bar. The bar opens from 18 hours to 22 hours. I only manage to eat 1 mchopo. And I'll be doing quick drinking because I need to drink before the barman says we're not taking any more orders. But if that person is working 24 hours, I'll drink at peace, eat more food, talk more, meaning the woman that is selling chickens is going to increase the sale of chickens. Now at 24 hours, I'll go and sleep because I'm working at 6. The guys that are knocking off at 24 hours will wake up. They also will knock off, they also want to go and drink. They will go there, they will need more michop, more chicken. That woman will say, me, I'm tired. Me, my space for growing chicken is just like this. If she's not ambitious, she will leave. The neighbor will say, that one, she says that chicken alone is taken, there's always a shortage. That woman, another woman or man will start producing chicken. Meaning now, instead of having 1 business person, you have 2 business persons. If just a beggar, if it's just a beggar, in a beggar there's a guy who supplied flour to do the bun. In that flour there's sugar, there's salt, there's water, So that is, if now you are consuming not 1 as a country beggar in a day, there's 3 beggars because 2 more people have been added on to the employment. You are increasing, demand for tomatoes, for ketchup, for salt, for what? So not only is the economy, 24-hour economy, going to grow our labor force, it is also going to grow Zambia's GDP. When I heard about the 24-hour economy, I was one of the most happiest because my aim is for Zambia to double its GDP within the next 10 years. The GDP has to double. But it cannot double if you limit yourselves in the number of hours that you are working. Look at Kenya. Nairobi doesn't sleep. Nairobi is a huge financial hub. There are startups there. Why are they startups? Because you have produced, no one will tell you at 18 hours that, they have closed at the post office. Post office is 24/7. Banks, 24/7. You need more police officers. So the government are going to recruit more police officers. When you're recruiting more police officers, of course, it's more cost. But because of increased businesses, government will collect more taxes. You look at these cameras that they are putting in for smart city. Those cameras that we are seeing on the street will help also towards the smart city, towards the 24-hour economy. There will be smart policing. That is a very good coincidence. Smart policing. So we are ready as a country to do what? To go on a 24-hour economy. This should be supported by all well-meaning Zambians, including non-well-meaning Zambians. They should support this because they need jobs. People, me, I work. I can just say I'm going. You know, me, I work. Where I am here, I have a job. I'm able to feed my family. I can just say I'm not supporting that. When you hear a person who has a business, who is working, saying 24-hour economy can't work, they are selfish. Go and tell that to a guy and that is selling, can't even sell anything on the market. They are watching this program right now that this 24-hour economy can't work. If you don't work and you're against the 24-hour economy, then my friend, there's something wrong with you because this is a challenge. This is an idea to create jobs for you. We need to move smart. South Africa looks for employees. Come from Namibia, from Zambia, from everywhere. Because South Africans can't work 24/7. Even you can't work 24 hours. You just work for 8 hours, you are tired. Now, if you will limit just a few number of people 8 hours, I know that in Dogona, Mavala for 22 hours. Manje, what are you doing? I want to drink at 23 hours. Why are you stopping me to drink at 23? Me, I want to go and buy carpenter at 24 hours because I want to cook in Shima at 24 hours. The marketplaces, people that are selling in the market should know that with a 24-hour economy, bakatandika fyo mkumo, ngabatandika, tabakalata ntula poida tomato, wakula retera pof. Meaning they will have to employ more people to go and sell at that particular market. The markets will need power. We need some people to service that power, the bulbs. That is job creation. Because it's 24/7, you need somebody to be sweeping all the time because now you have to sweep 3 shifts. The number of sweepers are going to increase. That's how the USA managed to develop their economy. In Australia, there's even a commissioner for the 24-hour economy. Today in Sydney, because of COVID blacked out, they are now fighting women to let's bring back the 24-hour economy because they won't have where to take their youth. They won't have where to take their labor force. Because if they operate for 8 hours, where are they going to take other people? Unemployment always brings about problems. So Zambian citizens, politics aside, let's support progressive ideas like what is in the PF manifesto.
Out of curiosity, Dr. Haabazoka, given all that you have said, the COVID-19 and the other challenges that Zambia is facing, issues of high cost of living and so forth, in the era of COVID-19, just out of curiosity, would you say that if there had been any other government other than the Patriotic Front, it would have fared better in this environment?
I am one of the most fierce critics of the Patriotic Front government. They know me. When, for example, our colleague from the United Party, for UPNG, when he was arrested, there's a newspaper article where I wrote, everybody was quiet. I wrote to say, do not fight those who cannot fight back. You release him. No matter what has happened, this is after elections, let's work hand in hand. I am on record, I have come out to support Hakainde Hichilema in those difficult conditions, when even those that were very close to him ran away from him. Me, I'm a Zambian. At the same time, I have supported the PF government. Even when people thought what they have done is very wrong, I've sat down and supported. Why? Because I look at the good of the nation. People can call me names. You can call me Kada. So long as my conscience is clear and God's conscience is clear, that is, for me, that's the right thing. God, I believe that each and every leader is given to a nation by God. Look, when President Edgar Lungu came in and became president, Zambia faced 2 massive droughts. Massive droughts. I remember when we had such a drought in the 90s, we ate yellow maize. We were getting maize from Argentina. We were eating it, smelling as if they are chemicals. That was GMO maize. we ate. They were allowing us to mill it, but not to eat it. Not so to mill it and eat it, but not to plant it. That's what we went through. Look, when we had load shedding, 2015, 2017. 2015, we did a lot of importation, power importation. In 2017 or 18, we asked government, as Economic Association of Zambia, do not import power. Yes, it's going to be. We were called all sorts of names. But you know what? We thought we needed to save our foreign exchange reserves for another day. And you know the way God operates, we have COVID. Now imagine if we spend a lot of our forex on just importing power. So what am I saying? I'm saying Edgar Lungu managed to sail us through post-droughts. We are in COVID. God, bless us that, yes, our figures are very bad. A lot of people, a lot of friends. Yesterday I lost a friend from COVID. I've lost a number of friends, colleagues where I work from. A lot of my friends have died. But our situation, we have really managed to sail through up to date with minimum losses. I know any loss is a great loss. Those family members, including mine, I lost an uncle. That I've lost people due to COVID. Any loss is a great loss. Talking in terms of numbers. Minimum losses to economic development. So I think, for me, I think this person was brought here on this earth by God. For him, my advice to him, to remain strong. He has a lot of supporters. I think he has done a lot of proper, good decisions. Some decisions, me and him probably could not have agreed, but most of the things that I have done, they have managed to ease our livelihoods. Look at how hostile our political situation is. Imagine if he didn't have a kind heart. A lot of people are going to be in jail now. There's going to be a lot of violence, started by not the cadres, but the police controlled by the same president. The president is the commander-in-chief. If he wanted, he was going to give an order. This is election time. If he wanted, he was going to, do orders, no movement, for the sake, for example, of elections. He is one of the most fierce critics of a total lockdown. Why? He's not a president for, I think, for only the rich people. He's a president for all Zambians. There are some people whose earnings are day to day. That's why to all well-meaning Zambians, you need to give credit where it is due. We don't want a situation whereby a president dies, as in the case of our beloved late president. You go there and sing praises. You need to sing praises when a person is still alive. That is why me and my team at Economic Association of Zambia, we have been very lucky to have met officially the first president of the Republic of Zambia and told him about the great things that he has done for this particular country and promised them that we shall keep his legacy flying. Same goes with this president. We chose him to be our leader. He's our leader. When the country is going through problems, we will stand by him. We are not going to insult him. After him will come another president. We shall behave the same way. Because countries, when you are going through troubled times, COVID is a troubled time, you unify. That is, you unify as a nation. You don't insult. Those people that will insult you during hard times, those people have nothing in common with the general populace. That's why I'm saying that as we do politics, it's very good. Zambia is a democracy. Go and vote for whomever you want to vote, but give credit where it's due and do it for the right reasons. Don't do it for tribe. Don't do it for patronage, or don't do it for money. Do it because you are convinced that during good times, it was good time. When there were global hardships, this person helped us sail through. That is what I can say about this issue.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Haabazoka. We have run out of time on the program, so we'd like to thank you so much that you took time off your very busy schedule to just come to the table and articulate issues pertaining the economy of the country right now.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, our roundtable viewers from across the globe. This evening's discussion featured Economic Association of Zambia President Dr. Lubinda Haabazoka until Thursday, when we bring to you yet another exciting guest on the table. My name is Nakiwe Simpungwe, your host. Good evening. It has been an exciting journey on the Roundtable Talk. We have featured a host of high-profile individuals such as cabinet ministers, permanent secretaries, directors, and a host of other high-profile guests. As we proceed with the Roundtable Talk, we would like to announce that it is now going mainstream. Yes, you heard me right. Going forward, the Roundtable Talk will be broadcast on Millennium TV, Channel 95 on the Topstar decoders, on YouTube, and as always on Smart Eagle's Facebook page. Join me every Thursday at 15:30 hours as I bring to you more and more exciting guests for more information, entertainment, and education. I'm Nakiwe Simpungwe, your host.